Ahoy hoy folks, good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back. I had a bit of a break last week from art, although the craft videos were still going strong. In fact, you might see just back here our little grow goose. This is a project that I've been working on for the last few weeks. It's taken time to progress. It's nice to do something that's a little bit more involved rather than just small crafts all the time. So if you haven't seen those videos yet, I'll leave a link to the playlist, which up here. Go and check it out because it's really fun. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. But today, it's not crafts today, it is art today because it's Tuesday. So we are back to ScrawlrBox. So if you remember the ScrawlrChallenge from last time, there we go, is Midas Touch. So that is the piece of artwork that we're going to be doing today. So I will turn the camera around. We'll have a little reminder of what is in the box. And I have actually done a little bit of preparation today. I know, very unlike me, but I have done some preparation. So I will show you what I've got planned and then we can get cracking with today's piece of artwork. Welcome back to my desk. You may have noticed I've got a plaster on my finger, a band-aid. All of the dangerous crafts that I do with knives and carving and woodwork and all that kind of stuff, I went and cut my finger slicing cucumbers. So I've got quite a nasty cut right across the top of my finger, so I think this is going to be on for a while. I don't think I need stitches, but I will check. It's been about 24 hours and it seems to be okay so far. Right, so ScrawlrBox, we have these Wolf's graphite sketch pencils. We have this Pilot Super Color in gold with a medium bullet nib. We have the Kohinoor, what's this called? Geoconda, so not Geoconda, Geoconda. So not Mona Lisa, but close enough. We also have our Frisk tracing paper, so I'm marking down trace down paper, and we have some drawing paper as well, which we went over last time and swatched out everything that is in the box. So I was inspired by this piece, which is the piece by the featured artist, and it's a gorgeous piece done with graphite, I think ink as well, and definitely gold leaf, not gold marker, but that's fine. It's an inspiration at least. And of course this Midas Touch is the prompt for this one. So I was thinking about the actual story of King Midas. So he wishes that everything he touches turns to gold, and everything he touches turns to gold. Blah, blah, blah. We all know where that goes, and the reason he begs for it to be undone and the gods finally relent and remove the golden touch is because he hugs his daughter, and in hugging her turns her to gold. So it's a kind of true love, you know, love outweighs material value, blah blah, all of that kind of stuff. But I thought to myself, in my weird twisted brain, what would happen if he didn't have a daughter? What would happen if he didn't have people around him that he cared about, and everything he touched turned to gold? It wouldn't be very long before he started to starve and wither away as every piece of food he touched turned to inedible gold. So I am going to be drawing a hand, and I hate drawing hands. It's one of those things that I have practiced so much and I get good at it, and then I don't practice for ages, and then I have to draw a hand again and I absolutely hate it, and it's one of the banes of my life. So I have been doing a little bit of sketching. I actually took some photographs of my own hand, and then I've kind of weathered it and aged it and made it look a little bit older. So this is my initial sketch for the old, well, not old really, just kind of decaying hand. And then over here I've got what he is pointing to, or what he's touching, which is an apple on a plate. And I've done it this way because I can kind of position this wherever I want it to using the markdown trace down paper that we have got here. So what I'm going to do is Actually, I'm going to get a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut around just the tip of this hand, just very loosely. There we go. Just so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to lay this out how I want it to be presented on the page, and I'm going to trace down the major shapes using the trace down paper, and then I'll go in with everything else and I'll turn it into a refined piece of art. That's the plan anyway. So right, okay, let me do the trace down. Let's see how that goes, and then I'll come back to you and we'll do a time lapse for everything else. Right, I don't know how well this is going to come up on the camera, but I've marked out the placement and the basic shapes of everything on here, and then of course I've still got my original sketches over on the side. So now I feel I'm in a place to start actually going through and sketching things. So in terms of gold, yeah, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through, I'll do some pencil sketching first, then I will come in with the gold, then I will come back and finish off the pencil sketching. So, it is time for a super speedy time lapse. And here we go, and already I'm wondering to myself, why have I chosen to draw a hand? Why am I putting myself through this trial? As any of you know, hands are among the most complex things to draw, and yeah, I'm now ruining the fact that I have decided to do this. However, I did say that I was going to reach out to Frisk. I love Frisk. Frisk, you are amazing people, amazing products as well, and just ask for some advice on the trace down paper. So we're using Frisk multimedia paper as well to draw on, but the trace down paper, I just wanted to make absolutely sure I wasn't missing anything, that I wasn't being an idiot. I've reached out to them and just said, do you have any tips and tricks for using the trace down paper in projects? And just as I thought, they very kindly came back to me and told me I was being an idiot. No, in all seriousness, they just came back to me and said, no, it's very simple to use. Just tack down the thing that you want to draw and make sure it's in the correct position, and use a little bit of tape to keep it in position so nothing moves around, and go for it. And honestly, it was as simple as that. And I know it didn't come up super well on the camera, but actually in person was very clear for me to see what had been traced down, and I really enjoyed using it. I know it comes in different colours as well, so very happy I've got this, and I'll be using it on some different media and just seeing how it reacts on canvases and different boards and things like that. But already we have got kind of major shapes sketched in, and we're now going into using the gold pen, which is fairly limited on this, but I want to give the impression that as the hand is touching this apple, the gold is spreading across it quite quickly, like a little magic spell. So that's why we've got that kind of curly crackle around the edge as it's going through. And I did some testing, if you remember, when we did the unboxing, and found out that the pencil does go over the gold pen very well, so I'm able to add some extra detail onto what I would do. So I'm keeping that in mind when I'm doing this pencil sketching. And really, this is now just an observation sketch. I keep checking my own hand for where the kind of major shadows fall. I did most of the sketching in a HB pencil. This is the 8H pencil, I think. Let me have 8B pencil, so I can get really dark. So I want to put my darkest values in first, then come back with a mid-tone. And this really is just going backwards and forwards and pushing it and kind of testing things out on the shadow, so around the edge of the plate, and obviously the shadow of the apple itself and the shadow of the hand. I laid in the rough shadows, and I've come in with the white pencil. So one thing this does very well is blend together graphite. So I thought if I use that predominantly in the shadows, that'll give kind of a bit of smoothness and blur and define that shadow a little bit more. Although all of the shadows need to be much darker, and I do definitely do that along the side of the hand. Using the eraser, as well, as we know, going backwards and forwards in a sketch is important for the shadows as well as the highlights to show. So the eraser was really good at picking out details in the negative and bringing out some of the highlights as well. But once that's done, I'm really just wanting to put lots of lines and cracks and creases to give this hand a bit of a withered look. It's a withered hand, and it's a hand. I've just made life incredibly difficult for myself, but hey, you know, live and learn. Hey, live and learn. So again, going backwards and forwards, trying to smooth out this shadow and without it losing the definition of the side of the hand as well. So again, the eraser doing very well on that indeed. Now this is where I'm starting to go on to the gold itself, and as I say, it worked very, very nicely. I would be interested in just laying down a full gold page or picking out kind of details on something that are all gold, and then, you know, going over with the pencils and seeing what I could do with it, because I was actually very intrigued. The last thing I'm going to do on this, because I want to make sure I use everything, is to come in with the charcoal stick. So that'll be coming out in just a second. Add a few more details as well. Before I hand over to final thoughts, just wanting to say, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any videos in the future. If you want to support the channel even more, do like these lovely people have done, head over to Patreon and sign up there for members only exclusive benefits. But now it's time for final thoughts. There we go. That's now all finished. I love the way the gold catches the light. Is it my best piece of artwork? No, as I said, hands are really not my thing. But you know what? I gave it my best shot, and maybe this is my my kick up the backside to be drawing hands more often and just practicing more in my spare time. I do really like the apple. I like this kind of concentric marks around here that show that the kind of magic is spreading through. But yeah, I'd love to see what you guys have done for the Scrawler Challenge. So make sure to share it on Instagram. If you do it, feel free to tag me at Uncle Frogface, and I will go and check those out and comment as well. As always, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and until next time, goodbye.